So in all of this stuff, manifestation, reality creation, law of assumption, law of blah, 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 right? And all of this crap that we're dealing with here, what is our number one issue? Our number one issue is trying to believe it. Why? Because we don't see it. We don't see it. We do not see it. And because we do not see it, it's hard, right? It's not freaking easy, isn't it? You know, we'll leave, we'll do this, we'll do that, and all these things. Sometimes we'll spend months, sometimes years trying to do this stuff, and we still don't see it. And seeing it is pretty important to us because it makes up 70% of our perception is based on our sight. In fact, it dominates our other senses. It will tell our other senses and make them believe what's real when that's not even true. Like, you can have like a plate of food, and if you blindfold somebody, most of the time they will have no idea what it is that they're eating because they're so used to going by their eyes to tell them what they're eating. So obviously our sight is massively dominant, which is why everything in our culture is all based on looks. It's all based on perception of what you have and how attractive you are and all this, that we're just like overly like put way obviously too much emphasis on it, which is completely ridiculous. But that's another subject. So since our sight is so dominant and so all important to us, it's ruling everything, let's take a look. Let's look it up, shall we? Okay, so we're going to take a look. Do our eyes see reality? Okay, and you guys can obviously do this too, and I encourage you to, because this is something you need to soak yourself in. You need to sit in this awareness of the truth of this and stop bullshitting yourself, you know, by believing in your senses. Because this is the kind of stuff you're going to find. So, do our eyes see reality? Just, there we go. First thing that comes up is now at the top of the page, AI overview. What's the first thing it says? Do our eyes see reality? No. Our eyes don't see reality, but instead capture light and send information to our brain, which then interprets it to create a story of reality. Not the truth of reality. It interprets it and creates a story. It makes it up. All right, our brain. The brain interprets the information from the eyes to create a story of reality, but this story is not always accurate. The brain can be biased by filling in gaps with past experiences, assumptions, or by bending perception to meet expectations or desires. Expectations or desires, which is exactly why we're able to go in and change our reality to what we want it to be, to our desires, because we can put that, you know, program in there basically. So let's continue on. Next thing down, let's see, there's an article on a website called Medium. It's entitled, "The Human Eye Can Only See 0.0035% of Reality," which of course I've mentioned lots of times. And the little blurb from it says, "According to some researchers, the human eye can only perceive a small fraction of the world around us, leaving the vast majority of reality hidden from view." It's like what I always talk about when I'm like, we're like, you know, if you're going to kind of give an analogy, we're like in this massive football stadium, but it's completely black and we have a tiny little flashlight, and only what we pointed at, which is our awareness, which is what we focus on and think about, only that little tiny bit is going to light up, and we're like, there's reality. And we keep looking at it going, that's the only reality, when you could point your flashlight anywhere else and be like, oh, look, there's a completely different reality. But of course we don't, because we're so addicted, really, to the reality that we think are real. And trust me, most people are extremely addicted to their version of reality, and they don't want to give it up. They don't want to give it up at all. So let's go down here. Next one, they've got like all those little like kind of down arrows with like little questions and stuff that like, so I'm just like hitting them and seeing what pops up. One little question is, what we see actually reality? This is an article from New Scientist that says, in fact, most of what you see is an illusion. Our eyes aren't all seeing, but capture fleeting glimpses of the outside world between rapid movements called saccades. During these, we are effectively blind because the brain doesn't process the information that comes in when it happens. All right, let's go down to another one. Are we hallucinating our reality? This is an article from a place called Mind Lab International. It says your brain, your brain, he reveals, obviously someone's talking in the article, your brain, he reveals, hallucinates your reality. The way things seem is just your mind's best guess at what's going on. A best guess influenced both by evolution, where of course we know there's no evolution because there's no time, and by your own personal history, which means your expectations. These factors are deeply embedded in the functioning of the visual system to shape your perception. All right, let's go down. Do we see reality directly? An article from Scientific American. The reality we experience, the way things seem, is not a direct reflection of what is actually out there. It is a clever construction of the brain. Okay. Does our brain create reality? Here's an article from a website called Big Think. Because our brains are structured to construct categories based on the function of things rather than what they look like or taste like or smell like, humans can create something that is called, and this is really interesting if you look this up, social reality, which is where we collectively impose a function on objects that the objects don't have by virtue of what they actually are. In other words, like how, like money. We're like, oh, that's worth something. It's not worth anything. It's a piece of freaking paper. Or it's just a nothing, like a Bitcoin and stuff like that. It's not real. But we're pretending it's real. We'll kill each other over it when it's nothing. We're just having an agreement. Ooh, that's valuable. Ooh, that's important. When none of that's true. Right? So, the way we deal with things is really, really kind of bizarre. Here's another one. Can thoughts alter reality? This is by a website called The Beacon. Thoughts can definitely control reality. There are numerous ways thoughts can affect reality, both in a good and a bad way. There is a reason why most of, if not all, self-help books and speakers always speak of the importance of thoughts and positive thinking. Of course, I'm talking about thoughts instead of eyesight there, but it kind of melds into that. But anybody can go on the internet and see that our eyes don't see. Yet we're basing everything on it. We're basing all of our emotions, our entire life, our entire well-being on what we think is there or what we think is not there. And because we think it's not there, we're freaking out because of this and that, when the truth of reality is that none of that's real. None of it. The truth is actually that you really are who you've always wanted to be. You are rich, you are young, you are beautiful, you are attractive, you're the most beautiful woman, you're the most handsome man wherever you go. You are. Because that would be your preference, and that is a reality that's there. So everything you've ever wanted is there right now. But because you have thoughts, and because of the way our senses perceive things, we're going by our past history. We're going by our beliefs, which is literally blocking it out. It's literally right here, but because we're not agreeing that it's true, our mind's blocking it out. And even when we do finally agree, yeah, okay, I get it, I see it, I get it, I finally accept it, even then, we usually end up having like an adjustment period before that will finally soak in. There's a perception of time that takes place here. Of course, when a person really finally gets it and proves it to themselves, well, then things happen faster and faster because for sure, that it's just that our senses cannot be relied on. We have to stop giving our senses so much credit for everything. The problem is that we're letting them rule our lives. We're letting them dictate everything to us when it really has to be the other way around. We're the ones who have to be like, no, I'm going to tell you what my life is going to be. I'm going to tell you, my senses, speaking to your senses, what my life's going to be like. You're not going to tell me. I'm not just going to be like, oh, whatever you say. No way, no freaking way, because we don't want to wait for our mind to accept things. Okay, because we're trying to convince our mind, right? But our mind is going off of following our senses, and our senses are following what we believe and what we assume in our past and all of this, the story. They're going along with that. So we keep waiting for our mind to finally, okay, I accept it. And then we're like, yay. It's like, no, don't wait for the mind to accept anything before you're like, well, sorry, it's happening. Do not wait for the senses to pick up on anything before you finally agree that what your reality is. It is what you say it is. Then your senses and your mind follow. Afterwards, they follow what you say, like, I don't care. I don't freaking care. This is my reality from now on. I've made that decision that this is who I am. And because I am everything, because there is nothing that I'm not, I can be and do and have anything I want. And I'm damn well gonna, and I'll tell you, it really does kind of take that cockiness, to be like, whatever comes up, because then after that, you're going to get all this, you're stirring stuff up. You're shaking the little snowball of your world, and you're like, nope, erase that one, new story. So stuff gets thrown up in the air, and a lot of times, then you get all this stuff. No, it is true. No, it is true. And your body is aching, and you do have this disease, and and that person is with someone else. Look, there's some pictures of them together. All of this stuff. It's like, no, that's just more lies that your senses are coming up with to convince you to stay that person, because it sees that as the known world. What is safe? Oh yeah, it's crap. But hey, we know what your life is, and there's no mystery to it. It's like, yeah, well, there's no fun, there's no pleasure, there's no happiness there. So the heck with that, instead of you letting all of that dictate who you are and who you're going to be from now on. No, that's not the way we want to do it. That's not the way we want to do it. So we have to, like I said at the beginning, really poach yourself in it. Poach yourself, saute yourself, soak yourself in this truth. Your eyes do not see reality, which is why you can make it anything you want. But stop letting your senses tell you what your life is going to be. You tell them. End of the story. I don't care from now on. That's it. I don't care. No discussion. There's going to be no more conversation about this, because that's just the way it is. Like I've said before, you put your foot down. And I think most of you can think about an experience in your life where something came up and you're like, that's it. Like, that's it. Like, there's just no way. I'm not doing that again. I'm not going to be in that relationship again. I'm not going to do that job again, or I'm never going to do that thing again. That's it. You cross the line. And it's the same exact thing here. It's like, you're like, nope, That's it. That is freaking it. And I don't care if it's for the rest of my life. You know, I'm not going to accept this as my truth anymore, because I know for a fact that my eyes are lying to me. My senses are not telling me the truth of reality, you know. Otherwise, you'll be forever on the journey to get there. You're going to be stuck in that in-between world where you're trying to escape one reality and trying to get into another reality, but you're stuck in the process of getting there, of making it happen. There is no process. It's already here. Nothing needs to be done. Nothing needs to be changed except for your acceptance of it. And then things shift. But not until you're like, no, that's it. I don't care. This is the way it's going to be, because now I rule my reality. I'm not going to let this perception, this program tell me about what my freaking life experience is going to be. You know, I know how that's gone. No thanks, right? No thank you. So soak in this stuff, you know, because you'll fall right back into it. Otherwise, you will go right to sleep again. If you don't keep reminding yourself throughout the day, every day, no, this isn't true. This isn't true. It's like you're still in this, like living in this little hovel, this terrible place, you know, and you're like, nope, no, I'm not. I'm living in a freaking palace. Are you still driving that crummy car that's ready to break down? Nope. No, I'm not. I'm in my dream car right now. I could give a shit. I could give a damn beep, 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 beep. I could go on. What my senses are telling me. No, I have it now. That's it. There's just not going to be any discussion about it. You know, it's like, nope, too late. Nope. Like it's not up for discussion anymore. You know, I don't care what you say. Like, it's just a done deal. So whenever it comes up, ooh, what about, oh, look at that. And you're trying to pretend it's not real in your face. And you're just like giving it the finger, basically. You know, you're like, you know what? It's like, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. You have nothing to do with me anymore. That reality has nothing to do with me anymore. And you stand your ground. You stand your ground. And it's going to be like that 2-year-old that's going to be like, you know, all over the place. And then it's going to finally give in, because it's not going to have a choice. You know, the program will change. And, you know, I think at first it tends to be, you know, for most people, it's this kind of struggle thing, you know, where you're like really having to be like gritting your teeth sometime, you know, to get there. And then it happens. And then you're like, freaking A, I knew it. Damn it, I knew it. You proved it to yourself. And then nothing can ever tell you that you can't do that anytime you want ever again. And that's when you know that your reality isn't real whatsoever. So why not make it anything you want it to be? Because that's what your eyesight's already doing. It's just going, yeah, let's make it that. And it's showing you that when it's not that at all. It's not that at all. So therefore, time to take control. Time to be like, nope, none of that bullshit anymore. So, yeah, just so I wanted to come on, do a quick one for you guys. Because this stuff's important, right? We can't let this stuff control us anymore. I don't want you guys to let it rule your life when you are the creator of your reality. End of. No more discussion, right? Absolutely.